Kevin Durant has been traded to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and the number 10 pick in this week's NBA draft.
He's one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. A two-time champion, MVP, Olympic gold, first ballot Hall of Famer, and somehow still one of the most disrespected stars in the league. People talk more about his decisions than his dominance, more about his tweets than his buckets. This isn't about narratives, it's about truth. It's time we talk about Kevin Durant and why nobody ever gave him his flowers. There's never been a scorer like Kevin Durant. Not LeBron, not Kobe, not Jordan. Nobody's ever made it look this easy. From the moment he stepped on an NBA floor, KD broke the game. 7 feet tall with the handle of a guard, the touch of a shooter, and the footwork of a seasoned pro. In his rookie year with Seattle, he averaged 20 a night. By year 4, he was leading the league in scoring. And he didn't do it with brute force or ball domination. He did it with pure skill. Pull-up threes, mid-range assassinations, smooth spins, catch-and-shoot daggers. He didn't hunt contact, he hunted buckets. Coaches weren't designing defenses to stop him, they were just praying to contain him. And it didn't work. When he got to Golden State, the efficiency hit another level. Surrounded by shooters with no need to carry the offense every night, he became a silent killer. Back-to-back finals MVPs, dominant on both ends, and still, it felt like the world couldn't appreciate what they were seeing. And in a league that loves drama and noise, KD's game was almost too perfect to fully embrace. For most players, winning a championship changes everything. For KD, it only made things worse. In 2016, he was coming off an MVP, 4 scoring titles, and a trip to the Western Conference Finals. He had just pushed the 73-win Warriors to the brink. He was a hero in OKC. Then he left. When KD joined Golden State, he didn't just join a contender, he joined the team that beat him. And just like that, everything changed. He went from respected star to NBA villain overnight. Snake emojis flooded his comment section. Fans burned his jersey. Former players and analysts called him weak. Suddenly, none of the buckets mattered. All anyone could talk about was the move. Here's what they ignored. KD didn't just ride Steph's coattails, he became the best player on that team. In back-to-back finals, he averaged 35 and 28 points, guarded LeBron, and hit the dagger in Game 3 twice. No matter what he did, it wasn't enough. That's the part that never made sense. He went to Golden State to win, and he won. But somehow, he lost the public's respect in the process. Most players spend their careers chasing a ring. KD got 2, and it cost him everything else. If joining the Warriors sparked the hate, what came next cemented it. In 2017, he got caught using burner accounts to argue with fans online. He clapped back at random accounts, defended himself in third person, liked shady tweets about teammates. KD's image took another hit. Before this, he was seen as chill, humble, a pure hooper. After this, he was insecure, soft, sensitive, obsessed with what people thought. But what people missed is why he did it. KD wasn't trying to be a villain. He just hated being misunderstood. He hated that people boiled down his entire legacy to a decision. But in trying to control the narrative, he gave the media even more to work with. And the relationship between KD and the media hasn't recovered since. KD became the first superstar of the social media era to truly engage. Some fans respected it, most didn't. They wanted him to act like a champion, not argue like a Reddit user. But that was the whole point. He wasn't trying to be what they wanted. He wasn't trying to be LeBron or Kobe or MJ. He was just trying to be heard. The NBA didn't just expect KD to win. They expected him to replace LeBron. After 2017 and 2018, KD had the resume. Rings, finals MVPs, stats, efficiency. He was at the top. And when LeBron left for LA, the league was wide open. But he never wanted that job. He didn't want to be the spokesperson for the league. He didn't want to carry every post-game storyline. He didn't want to be the guy who had to comment on politics, CBA talks, or social justice in front of 30 microphones. He just wanted to hoop. And that mindset, while honest, clashed with what the league, the media, and the fans had come to expect. He kept trying to pass it off, not out of fear, but because it was never the goal for him. He didn't dream of being the face of the NBA. He dreamed of being the best player in the world. And for a few years, he was. And the more he pulled back, the more people leaned in, trying to force him into a box he never wanted to be in. KD wasn't built to carry the league's image. He wasn't interested in being polished, controlled, or universally adored. He just wanted the freedom to be great, without the baggage. If OKC was the beginning and Golden State was the backlash, Brooklyn was supposed to be the redemption arc. He picked the city, he picked the coach, he picked the roster, and he picked Kyrie. On paper, it was everything he asked for, but in reality, it became the most chaotic chapter of his entire career. Injuries, vaccine drama, Harden trade demands, Kyrie's suspension, Steve Nash fired, zero continuity, and through it all, KD just kept hooping. And the same people who crucified him for joining the Warriors were now blaming him for not winning without them. He couldn't win either way. That's why he eventually asked for a trade. He gave everything to Brooklyn, but the culture never clicked. And once again, the media turned on him like it was all his fault. KD never got credit for being steady through chaos, for being the one adult in the room, for still putting up 30 a night on 55% shooting. All people saw was another super team failure. But here's the truth. He did lead. He just led in his own way. But that's not the kind of leadership the NBA rewards. And in trying to do it on his own terms, he learned a brutal lesson. Sometimes, no matter how great you are, the story gets written for you. When he tore his Achilles in the 2019 finals, it should have changed everything. He sacrificed his body to help the Warriors and paid the price. For a moment, fans felt sympathy, but then KD disappeared. He rehabbed in silence and a quiet move to Brooklyn. By the time he came back, the world had moved on. Giannis had taken the throne. Steph had reclaimed the spotlight. KD was still elite, but the narrative had passed him by. That injury didn't just sideline him, it quietly ended his place in the conversation. One thing's never changed. KD is still one of the best players on the planet. At 35 years old with an Achilles tear behind him and over 1,000 games logged, he's still averaging 27 a night. He isn't washed, he isn't fading, he isn't hanging on, he's thriving. Go back and watch Phoenix this season. There were stretches where he carried them, but you won't hear that on debate shows. They'll talk about leadership, they'll talk about age, they'll talk about whether Booker or Beal are real co-stars, but they won't talk about how absurdly consistent KD is. Most superstars slow down by now. KD, he's not just hanging on, he's dominating on a nightly basis. There are still nights where he's the best player on the floor, even with MVPs in the building. And yet, he still doesn't get the same respect, because to some people, KD will always be the guy who left OKC, the guy who joined the Warriors, the guy with the burner account, the guy who never led. But that's the thing, he's always led with his game. He's the blueprint for every tall shot creator who came after. Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum, Paolo Banchero, they all trace back to KD. And the fact that he's still doing this over a decade later should be legendary. Instead, it's barely mentioned. KD's career should be easy to define. He's a two-time NBA champion, a two-time Finals MVP, a league MVP, one of the top scorers ever, and yet nobody knows where to put him. Is he an all-time great? Of course. Top 10? Debatable. A franchise cornerstone? Depends on who you ask. A leader? A follower? A villain? A pure hooper? Everyone has a version of KD's story, and that's the problem. With LeBron, the narrative is clear. With Steph, it's clean. With MJ, it's carved in stone. But KD's legacy is messy. He didn't stay in OKC, he joined a super team. He left it, he tried to build his own. And every time, the media redefined him before he ever got the chance to do it himself. And here's what makes it even trickier. He's not done. He is still dropping 30 on anyone, still in playoff races, still capable of leading a team deep. But no matter what happens from here, there's a feeling that the narrative is already locked in. And that's what makes KD's story one of the most frustrating in modern sports. He did everything you're supposed to do, and still got told it wasn't enough. The biggest mistake we all made was assuming Kevin Durant wanted the same things everyone else did. Legacy, spotlight, icon status. Maybe he never needed any of that. KD always said it himself. I'm not a leader. I'm not trying to be your favorite player. I just love the game. And maybe that's all this ever was. We expected him to chase GOAT conversations. We wanted him to be the face of the league. He just wanted to be in the league. We wanted him to fit into the story we were writing. He was too busy writing his own. Maybe that's why he clapped back, why he jumped team to team, why he never cared about branding or public perception. At his core, KD never played this game for us. He played it for himself. And honestly, that might be the realest thing about him. He's just a basketball player, one of the best we've ever seen, one who never got the love he deserved, and maybe never needed it in the first place. So when it's all said and done, don't let the narratives fool you. KD didn't fail to live up to expectations. The expectations just never fit the player.